Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, irrespective of your topography. My name is Charles. We are going to have major contestants very soon on the line, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
Yo, it's your man Fianco from Accra, Ghana, and I'm tuning in to Art Network.
Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said earlier on, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, irrespective of your topography. Welcome to today's interview with Reverend Salif, candidate for mayor in Fargo, North Dakota to be precise. We are honored to have him here today. Reverend Salif, thank you for joining us today. We will get started shortly after this. Audience, let's make this a lively conversation. When we come back, we will continue. Reverend, Reverend Serif,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Mr. King.
Yep. I'm honored to have you, not only me, but the rest of the world who are watching you and listening to you right now on Art Network TV right now. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, Mr. King. It's great to be here. Great to be here hanging out with your audience all around the world. It's a wonderful thing to be here with you all. We hope you guys are following the show via YouTube, WhatsApp, wherever you are in social media land. It's good to be here hanging out with you on this wonderful Saturday.
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier on, my greetings to everyone all over the world, irrespective of your topography. We are welcome. Our brother for this particular interview, Reverend Salif, who is candidate for mayor in Fargo, North Dakota. We are honored to have him right now. So stay tuned. We are going to have one or two questions for him. I'm not considering this as interview. I'm considering this as an interaction with my brother for us to see what exactly he has for us in this community. Those of you in Moorhead and Fargo, don't forget the fact that whatever that is coming on, you need to put yourself into it because it is very, very important. One of the things I have realized that when it comes to things like this, we normally overlooked it, but Mayor will tell you it is very important. Mayor contestant, who is Reverend Salif, will tell you it is very important, which we are going to have that from him at a moment. To set the ball rolling, I'm not going to waste time because I know he has a lot to do and he has a lot on his table. So, Reverend, you've worked with human rights before, right? So I'm going to have two questions from you pertaining to your job at the human rights, which I believed a lot of people would be happy to have that answer from you. Now, as a chair of Human Rights Commission, how do you plan to address concern about commission future and potential changes in its structure?
That's a wonderful question, Charles. The Human Rights Commission was created to serve Fargo as a bridge between the city leadership and the residents. And our goal has never been to create conflict, but to strengthen understanding, education and trust. And right now, the decision is about how to restructure the HRC Human Rights Commission, Fargo City HRC. Um, we in the process of discussing path forward on restructuring the Human Rights Commission so it can be more effective and less burdensome on the city, because the city is always in a budget default. And so it's the financial strain on the city. They decided, that's what we are told. So they decided to end several commissions, as you are already aware, the Arts and Culture Commission, the Native American Commission, and the Fargo Human Rights Commission. So right now we having consultative meetings here and there with community partners, stakeholders, and city leadership to restructure this HRC, and that means to make it much smaller, that to reduce. I think currently we have about, I think, 11 or 12 members on the Fargo Human Rights Commission. We are trying to restructure that to downsize the staff at the HRC, and to focus more on education, awareness, and dialogue. Cities all around the world, they grow and they evolve, and Fargo is no exception. Fargo as a city is growing and is evolving, and that means institutions that hold these cities together. And like Fargo, this institution must also grow and evolve. And so the Fargo Human Rights Commission is going to evolve into something even much stronger. So my position has always been simple. In Fargo, if Fargo wants a forum where people can, raise concerns constructively and be heard before problems escalate into something else, then the Human Rights Commission remains that important tool, for those kind of dialogue. So those are the kind of things I'm working on right now for the future of the
Thank you very much for
Human
your answer. Those of
Rights
you,
Commission.
yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, those of you who doesn't know Reverend Salif is a human rights commissioner in Fargo, right? So today,
Yes.
today you are seeing him and hearing from him. Now, it is very important for you to know your leaders in the community, and we are going to bring them on this show one by one, to know them exactly. Honorable, there's a noise behind you. Kindly check it for me. My next question is that what specific policies or initiatives would you propose to protect and promote human rights in Fargo? You have said much, but I think this will be your next question.
Yeah, that's interesting question also, Charles. The first thing we want to do is, provide education. That's one of the first things we want to do at the HRC as we restructure the Human Rights Commission. You know, many conflicts begin because people don't understand each other, understand each other's experience. America, we are people from different backgrounds. It's not one culture that makes up America, and Fargo is no exception. I think in Fargo now we have more than 100 plus different cultures here in Fargo alone. So people are from different places. So the first thing we want to work on, initiative, policy we want to work on, is to provide our education to create, understanding from these different, backgrounds. We can partner with schools. We can also partner with businesses and community organizations, to provide the awareness and that respect. Secondly, community, we can, work towards community dialogue. Fargo is becoming more diverse. I think right now Fargo should be like more than 20% diverse. Just a few years back, it wasn't like that. So we should see diversity as our strength and not weakness. So creating structure, conversations between community leadership, prevents division and it builds trust. Another thing we can
I'm sorry, your line is breaking. Sorry about that. Mhm.
like we use awards years to celebrate people uh, who strengthen our city. We should continue recognizing individuals and organizations that promote unity and fairness within our city. Human rights are not uh, political and should not be made political. They are about making sure every resident feels respected and valued in the community they all call home. So those are some of the things we are working on right now.
Thank you very much. Now that we done with the Human Rights Commission, I have four questions for you. One is human right, one is community, and one is ministry and family advocacy, which you are working on. Each of them, you are good at it, so I know you'll be able to answer this question to the audience and the community. Now, we are on the community. How do you plan to engage with diverse? You mentioned something about diverse, which I like that. How do you plan to engage with a diverse community groups and stakeholders to ensure their voices are heard and represented?
Great concern, and I appreciate that you brought that up. I'm not just running for mayor of Fargo just because I want to. I think when I become mayor of Fargo, some of the things I want to do, listening must be intentional. Leadership has to listen, and I think it's an issue that around the world leaders think they should tell the people what they should do, or they should tell the people what they can have or what they will do for them. No, we should listen to the people, and so I want to listen attentively. As mayor, I will establish regular community, listening sessions across different neighborhoods and districts, so people don't feel they have to come to City Hall all the time. When I become mayor, I want to take City Hall to the people, and that will be very important. I also believe strongly in building partnerships with community leaders, with faith organizations. Fargo is deep in faith. It's a faith-based city, irrespective of what you worship. Those who are Christians, those who are Jews, those who are Muslims, those who are Buddhists, whatever you believe in, whoever you worship, we want to give you, that opportunity. Uh, Build that strong community partnership with these different leaders, also with business groups, with youth leaders, with cultural organizations. These often these leaders often understand their community's concern better than any other person can do. And that is why one of the things I'm looking at when I become mayor, Fargo is about the only major city in the U.S. now that still runs the city commission. I think we should transition the city from a city commission to city council so that we create more seats on that council to give different groups the opportunity to have that seat, at the table, because it's just wrong that one group of people decide for the entire community of people. I think every group should have a seat at the table to they can speak better for their people. When people feel heard, they become part of the solution. You can't keep them outside and create solution. So my leadership style is collaborative rather than top to bottom. That's what we see most leadership models are top to bottom. We just talk to the people. We tell them, no, I want that participatory leadership. People should have a seat at the table. People should come and speak on issues. People should be part of policy formation. That makes them feel more uh, belong to the city, and they become part of the solution. So those are some of the things I would want to work on as a mayor.
Thank you very much for the answers, and I know everybody will be excited to hear you. Those of people or those in the community right now, both Morehead and Fargo, which we call it FM, will be so excited to see you
Oh
right
yeah.
I know we are going to work on that, to make sure you get to the office. Now, my next question pertaining to the community is that what experience do you have in advocating for marginalized communities, and how will you apply that in the mayor's role?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Again, I mean, all these questions are very relevant to what we are doing. When it comes to my experience in advocacy, as chair of the Fargo Human Rights Commission, and before I became chair of the Fargo Human Rights Commission, I've been serving on the commission. And I've spent years listening to residents from, many different backgrounds, immigrant families, seniors, veterans, business owners, students, like when the Israel-Gaza war was going on, after Hezbollah attacked Israel, I think it was October 7th. We had Palestinian students. They came to us and they talked to us, and we advocated on their behalf. We came up with a resolution that we sent up to the city commission. So the years I have spent on the city on the Human Rights Commission I spent that time listening to different groups of people, and advocacy for me means ensuring that everyone has a seat at the table and that concerns are addressed constructively. It also means balancing fairness with responsibility so that every resident feels protected under the same rules. As mayor, that approach will guide my leadership. I want to listen first. I want to bring people together. I want to work towards practical solutions that benefit the entire city and not just a select group of people. Yes.
That's a very good one. Those of you watching us right now all over the world, you hear from the horse's mouth right now. Before we go to the next questions, let's go for a commercial break, and when we come back, we will continue.
It's the last week now.
Yo, it's your man Fianco from Accra, Ghana, and I'm tuning to Art Network.
Thank you very much. We are back, and our next question is that you really have the experience. What is left right now for you to have the seat? And then the practical itself will come. Now, you are in the community right now. Let me ask this question before I go to my next question. This is just a random question. Have you ever had a chance to meet the leaders in the community right now?
Oh yes, definitely, Charles. I've been working on that. We've been reaching out to various community leaders, and thanks to the community, people are so excited about this elections. And when I talk to one person, that person will say, "Hey, you need to reach out to this other person," and they make these recommendations. And as they give me contacts, I reach out to those, different people in different communities, different blocks in our community. Fargo is a city that is built upon different communities. You got like Sons of Norway, you got different groups, you got you got African communities, there's Filipinos, there are Eastern Europeans, different communities. You have Middle Easterners, we have there's Jewish communities, and there's just different communities that Fargo is built upon. So gradually, we are reaching out to these communities. A few weeks ago, we were with Nepali communities. We reached out to them, and there are still other communities we're trying to identify. And definitely, we're reaching out. We're putting in the work, and they have been very receptive, and that's encouraging.
Thank you very much. But don't forget the fact that the audience said they are not seeing you like the way they're seeing me. So kindly check your video very well.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just got a text from Sir, one Sir.
Okay.
He said they are not seeing you.
Oh.
Whilst working on it, we will go for a break and come back. Is it okay now? Audience, kindly let us know if now you can see him. So let me know from the test section. I've got another questions from here. Now, before I go to the questions, let us finish this. Someone said, is it Chief what? That is email address. I can see the real name. He said, great idea. We really want to see the city hall coming to the people. And another person too with the email says, go Mayor Salif. Thank you very much for your comment. Keep on bringing all the comments because it's very important. We need to see how you guys are reacting to, our coming mayor. Now, my next question is that how do you balance your ministry work with your role as a mayoral candidate? And what value do you bring from that experience?
Great. That's an interesting question. Charles, ministry has taught me the importance of compassion, service, and listening. Every day in ministry, you meet people, you meet different faces, real people with real struggles, families trying to stay together, young people searching for directions, answers, seniors that need support. I mean, I've been in ministry right from high school all my life. And those experiences shaped my leadership philosophy. So public service should always be about people first. And so balancing ministry and public service comes naturally to me because both are about helping communities grow stronger. So that's just, what we have been involved with. So I think my ministry background is a plus to my public service. And so both of them are about the same thing I've been doing. In ministry, I'm solving problems. I'm taking care of people. I'm listening to people, real issues, real problems. And it's the same thing with leadership. As mayor, it's all about listening to the concerns of the people and not always talking to the people, but letting the people talk to us. And we listen to them, we take their issues, we process them, not without them, but with them. Like I said, people should have a seat at the table. If families are struggling, if families have been priced out of their homes, as Fargo is becoming unaffordable gradually, definitely some of these solutions are right in the people. They're not dumb. They know things. They can talk to us and they can point us in the right direction. That's why our campaign, we do more of listening. What do you want in the next mayor of Fargo? How can we help? How can we work together to solve problems and not, the people are not anywhere close to power and the power just tell the people, hey, we're doing this. No. Let the people have a seat at the table. Let them be involved with the process in finding real practical solutions, to whatever are the problems they are faced with. So I think ministry is a boost of my leadership style.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My next question is that what specific initiatives would you propose to support families? This is very important to me. And after this, I'm going to ask you another question. What specific initiative would you propose to support families and strengthen community bonds in Fargo here?
Okay, that's an interesting concern, Charles, and everybody should feel that way too. You see, it takes strong families to build strong cities, Charles. We need youth engagement. That's some of the things we can do. Youth engagement programs, that will give young people opportunities to succeed. And we should also support after school activities, mentorship programs and partnerships with local businesses. Another thing we can do, we need policies that keep Fargo affordable for families, housing, safety, responsible growth. When families feel secure and supported, the community will thrive. And so those are some of the things we want to do. We want to provide, aid for our seniors. These are people who have served this community, have served the city, have served the country. Now that they're old, we should be able to take care of them. But while we do that, we have to think about the young people because they are the future. So we can only build a strong city. Our cities can only be as strong as our families are strong. So we have to give them all the supports coming up with programs that support their needs, and once they are strong, they will support the effort in building a strong city. That's why we need everybody on board. That's why the Fargo for All campaign, our campaign, we need, if it's a Big Ten movement, they welcomes everybody, from various backgrounds to come in and join hands together. We can do this collaboratively and we can get real results, practical results for our people. And that way we'll build a sustainable, strong city.
Thank you very much. And what I want to say pertaining to whatever you just said when it comes to family in Fargo and Morehead is that let me say this. And if you are listening to me or watching me right now in Fargo and Morehead, we are having problem with our kids, which it is one of the things that bothering me so much. So when I don't see the leaders seeing this as a very, very, very something that is very serious, it hurts me. It really hurts me because this youth or these kids, we think we have the problem because we are the parents. But let me tell you something. The kids are going around with a lot of problems, which is moving more than ours. Do we know that? We have authoritarian parents, we have authoritative parents, we have permissive parents. Having much interview with some of the kids, Reverend, I came to realize that
Mm-hmm.
some of the problems come from the parents. I'm telling you, I'm saying this with passion.
Mm-hmm.
Know exactly what is going on. Which this is one of the things I want the community, especially the leaders, to make sure we come together to see how best we can do this to help these kids. They are our future. We shouldn't forget that there's going to be a time that we will not have that strength to go to work. We will not have that strength to talk to them, to even authorize them to do what is right. And they will be there for us. So you being someone who is coming to be mayor and also reverend, unity in action will be at your front. Unity in action will be at your door. which it's one of the things that we are doing. We want to see the youth or the kids to become very important citizens. And when that happens, the community becomes safe. And when that happens, the parent will have peace of mind to work. And when that happens, the community, the country will also be saved. How beautiful when you open your store, you open your office, and come back the next when you just leave your open store office and come back the next day, and even one person will not enter to even take one penny. How beautiful that would be. And this is what Unity in Action is advocating. And I believed that you will support when the time reach for you to be in the office. What would you say about this before I go?
Yes, just before you go to the next question, this concern is, I think, is general. We all share the same sentiment. It's all about leadership, Charles. It's all about leadership. You see, yes, that your assumption is partially right. Families are to blame, but it's much starker than that, because when you look at Fargo today, Charles, the poverty in Fargo stands at 12.8%.
Okay.
Poverty in Fargo is at 12.8%. And that is higher than the U.S. national average. That is higher than the state of North Dakota. And it is most frustrating when you think about who does this poverty hit most. It hit mostly people between the ages of 18 and 34 years old. They are the poorest in Fargo. Now, that is a whole chunk of our population and the future of the city. Now, when poverty is that prevalent and entrenched in our society, what do you expect? Families are going to struggle because parents have to do 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. When parents are burdened with working 2-3 different jobs, they're just running between shifts and running between first job, second job, the gig here and there. Who's taking care of their kids at home? So the kids are growing up by themselves. The kids are being trained by the internet, and we know there's so much filth there on the internet. I was just reading this week, and I saw some countries, I think Japan and Australia, they've restricted the internet. Anybody below 16 years old and below, you don't have access to the internet, because it's really destroying children. And Fargo, North Dakota, as a state, we got one of the highest rate when it comes to suicide in the U.S. There's so much pressure out there. So that's why city leadership should move towards doing things differently, giving support to families, giving support to parents, trying to do everything to beat back the poverty rate in our city. If parents are doing just one job, and that one job can take care of bills, can put food on the table, they'll spend more time at home with their children. They'll pay more attention to what their kids are doing. So the violence we see growing in our city, we cannot just put police in the street to take care of it. Police alone can't do everything. And I agree with you. These things should start with the family. That's what I said before, that to build strong cities, we need to build strong families. When the family structure is weak, the city fabric will be weak. Anything can happen. So my intention when I become mayor, I really want to, focus much attention, resources in those areas. Today, Fargo's budget as a city is about, this year, 2026, I think our budget is about 140 million. But what's the priority that we give to those budget? What do we spend this money on? We're not really spending it on the family front. We don't think the family front is important. So we need a complete paradigm shift when it comes to where leadership plow the resources of the city, what leadership prioritize. And for me, I want to prioritize families. I want to prioritize individuals. I want to prioritize our young people. There are certain schools in Fargo that are run that cater to a certain segment of our population. They are poorly run. Our schools are poorly run. I've been to schools. I've seen things happen in schools. Parents have called me, and I've gone with parents. to their kids' school and see some of the things I saw for myself that broke my heart. And so we got to do more as leaders within the city. And that is why Fargo needs this change. This is the time for reset. This is the time for a change. It could not be much needed at any other time than it is now.
Thank you very much. And before I go to my last, question pertaining to, let's say, campaign. Some people have questions here. Let me read it to
Yes.
you. Maybe you have answer to that.
I'm following the chat. Yes.
Yeah. Kindly mention your name when it's necessary, because I only see your emails here. Now, the next one that I'm going to ask is that he or she said, you spoke very well about immigration crackdown
Mm-hmm.
taking place right now. The city authorities said their hands are tied when it comes to immigration policy. What would you do differently about this?
You are right. I wish I could address you by name, but you just have your email, Chief Manny. Okay, I think Chief Manny Emmanuel. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I know who that is, Mr. Bay. So when it comes to immigration, the city's hands are not tied. Don't let them play fussy with you. Their hands are not tied. They're just trying to play politics. They are doing it intentionally. They're trying to intimidate the immigrant community so that we don't come out to vote. That's what they do. If you watch the ICE immigration crackdown from the Trump administration,
Okay.
there's no record, and I stand to be corrected. There's no record that ICE has been sent to any red city or red state. Trump has never sent ICE to any red city, to any red state. North Dakota is a red state. Fargo is a red city. Why is ICE here? Trump did not send them. You've never heard anything from the Trump administration ordering ICE to come to North Dakota, to come to Fargo. Our city leadership invited ICE here so that they can intimidate the immigrant community because they are afraid. They know we are a huge voting blocks. So when people are afraid, they won't come out to vote, and then that way they can cheat and rig the election. That's what it's all about. Their hands are not tied. They know exactly what they are doing. And we're not going to be intimidated. ISIS in Fargo, don't let anybody deceive you. And I think I spoke somewhere the other time on one of those news outlets, because the police chief Zibowski has said, "Oh, ISIS is not in Fargo. He's not aware ISIS yet." But then in the same sentence, he said, "But if you are stopped by ICE, do X, Y, Z." I thought that was a stark contradiction. How you say ICE is not here, but at the same time you are advising people when they get stopped by ICE, they should do X, Y, Z. So why is ICE here? They're just here because of the June 9th election. So all I can say to our immigration community, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Get your passport card. You still have some time. Go to the post office if you are a U.S. citizen. You don't have to travel with your passport on you all the time. Go and apply for your passport card. It's just a small card the size of your driver's license. It proves that you are a U.S. citizen. You can have that. Get your real ID on you. You are a legal resident. You have a green card. You should be protected. The city should, and that was the issue that I had with the city leadership the last week in December, because when a segment of the population is vulnerable, real leadership should stand up for this vulnerable population. And that is who I am. I will stand up for every vulnerable population. Any segment of Fargo that will be targeted, I will stand up for those communities. So I'm running for office makes me a politician. So whoever is the mayor right now, those commissioners, they all ran elections and they all got elected. So when it comes to immigration crackdown, certainly now you say, oh, it's too political. No, you are a politician. That's why you were elected. And everybody in the city that is working and paying taxes, that is legal resident in Fargo, we should all enjoy the protection from the city. And so don't let them gaslight you. Don't let them deceive you. Their hands are not tied. They have decided to do what they're doing because they want to intimidate, like I said, the immigrant community so that we don't come out to vote, but we will surprise them. Come June 9, go out in the drove, go out in drove and vote your conscience, vote your future, vote ST Salih for mayor because we are poised to change the city. We are poised to build a Fargo that benefits everybody and not a certain class.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. You mentioned something that I want to ask you something about, especially the leaders should listen right now. You said go and vote
Yes.
June 9. Now, do our people involve themselves in voting to vote right? Have we had a chance to educate them to do so? Because sometimes they feel intimidating. Some people think it's not necessary. What are we doing as a leader, as a commissioner of human rights and the leaders in the community? What are we doing? We can't be just come on air and be saying go and vote without even inculcating these our people to understand what is right to vote with this your tongue. It's one of the things that is bothering a lot. We will keep on doing this, saying this, but here's the case. When the time reach, you'll not even see some of them there. Now that the time hasn't reached and you want to come, what are you doing to inculcating them to know what is right or how important the voting is like?
Yes, you see, and that's what I've been doing. I've been going out talking to people one on one. And I hope other leaders in the community can, join the campaign or support the campaign by having listening sessions. I will come to provide the education because bulk of our population, and I'm not trying to be derogatory here, bulk of our population are not, we don't have this reading culture, and I'm not being derogatory when I say not having reading culture. We have been so consumed with social media. We want all those gossip. We want, all the foolishness on social media. So if you were to post a training handout, people would just scroll past it because anything that is too long, more than 2 paragraphs, people are not interested. They just want to see videos of people, doing things. So like this medium right now is education we're providing. So I go out every day and I meet people one on one, and that's the concern. Oh, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. And statistically, in Fargo, local elections are not well attended, and this poor attendance in local elections in Fargo stems from these two groups of people: young people and immigrants. For whatever reason, immigrant communities feel, oh, we'll just go do 9 to 5 and just take care of ourselves. That's it. Election, we shouldn't be part of it. And I challenge them every time I talk to them. Oh, I say, do you know what voting means? I said, have you ever asked yourself why, when it comes to election, you see the white man, as old as they are, they're dragging themselves and going to the polls to vote. I say, you know why? Because they understand that voting has consequences. Whoever sits in an office can create policies that will protect their investment, protect their businesses, protect their future, their children's future. That's why they drag themselves to the polls. I said, I'm talking to you now. You're telling me, oh, I don't care. I don't want to vote. I'm not interested. You just want to go to work. And then I asked them, I said, do you know the job you work at? How they treat you at that job is based on different city ordinances. It's based on different policies enacted by the city, how your company treats you. If you have issue with the company, how do you insert your rights? When you don't know, all these policies are created through the city ordinance, and these companies abide by them. One of the issues that we notice in Fargo is you can start working for a company. I think your benefits should start to kick in from like 5, 6 years. I think 6 years. Your benefits should kick in. Watch what these companies do. You think they're stupid? Once they know you get into 6 years, they find an issue to push you out. Every little mistake, they push you out, so you go apply for a new job and start all over because they don't want to pay you the benefit. So they will use you, they use your time, your energy, your everything for 5 years. Once your benefit is getting close, they will find a way to get rid of you. And then you go apply and start all over. One policy from City Hall can change some of that. So when you say, oh, I'm not interested, I'm not going to vote, you're not helping yourself. You're just not helping yourself. Because the people that right now, Fargo is about 140,000 people. Only 5 people run the city, the mayor and 4 other commissioners. All of them live within about the same zip code. You think when they sit down, all of them are white, and I'm not trying to throw the race card around, but that is the reality. All the city leaders are white. When they sit down to create policy, do you think they think about you? Do you think they care about what you care about? No, they don't. They don't think about you. They don't see you. They don't need you. All the policies they create is what benefits them and their donors, what benefit the developers and the big business owners that pay into them. They don't think about you. So if you don't vote to get your own person in there who has lived your experience, who understands your struggle, then you're not doing yourself a favor. That is why this election is consequential. No immigrant community should stay home. No young person should stay home. I just told you poverty in Fargo is at 12.8%. And the poorest people in Fargo are young people. That is why young people are afraid to go to college because they're afraid they will rack up student loan debt. They are afraid to settle down. They don't have the money. You see lots of young people, they just roommates with each other. I met one young person that said, oh, I say, you like how long you've been working here? They told me, oh, they pay good. I like my job. I like the pay. And then she added, but all my money goes toward rent. It goes towards rent because people paying top dollars for rent. Apartments I used to rent for 400, 500 a few years back. Everything is in the thousands. We have been priced out. So how are you supposed to make ends meet? That is why elections have consequences. So we got to get up. We got to educate our community. Final thing I will add, this opportunity that they write that you even have to vote. People died to give us this right. Our forefathers died. They were lynched. Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered, fighting for civil rights, human rights. Now that you have the opportunity to vote, you don't think it's the best way to honor our forefathers? That, hey, you give up your life so that I can have this opportunity to vote. I will make sure I utilize my vote to change this city. We can change Fargo one vote at a time, one person at a time. The young people, get up. The immigrants community, get up. The older population in Fargo, the original people here, so many of them too I talk to, they say, I don't care about local election. We all got to get up because the city needs a drastic change right now. We are headed in the wrong direction. As I speak to you right now, Charles, and everyone listening to us, the Moody credit reporting, Moody, they rate all the cities in America. They just downgraded Fargo. Fargo has just been downgraded because our finances are all over the place. I'm telling you real issues.
Wow.
So you got to take this seriously. This is not play. This is serious. And that's much I can say. I hope a hint to the wise. Let's get up. So, and then the final thing I asked them, I said, why you always complain? You complain things are not right. Then when they say election, go vote, you say, no, I'm not voting. Then you complain. If you don't vote, do not complain. That's my simple rule of thumb. If you do not vote, do not complain because you give your power away for people to treat you like trash. And then you stand in the corner and you complain when your vote can change what happens in the city. Go and vote.
Go and vote. Go and vote. Whoever asked that question, I know a lot of people have this in mind, but because of your questions, our man has answered all those questions that is bothering you pertaining to when it comes to vote. He said, if you are not voting, why are you complaining? Because your tongue, how do you say it? It will change a lot. It will change a lot. That is why We're trying to do civic education for you to understand what is right. It's part of whatever we are doing. So whenever the community invite you, make sure you go to also learn something from. There's one question that is coming from Chief, which I'll ask that one before I'll go to my next
Mm-hmm.
and the last question. It says rumors have it that the Somalis community is not supporting you because they are being forced out by your people. What says you about this? It says, what says you about it? What are you saying about this?
Yep. That would be a travesty. I don't know. I got friends in the Somali community that I'm talking to. The Somali community is not structured like other African communities, like the Liberian community that got different tribal organizations. They got community leaders. They got their state organization, ULAND, or maybe like the Ghanaians or the Nigerians. The Somali, I've spoken with several of them. I said, who's their leader? They don't have a defined leader. So everybody follow whoever influences who.
Hmm.
And so it's difficult getting them together. But I've been talking to Somalis one-on-one. If they say they're not supporting me, that won't be to their advantage. That would be to their disadvantage because who's been fighting for them? Why did I get in trouble with the city leadership the last time during the press conference? It's because the Trump administration have put a target on the backs of the Somali community. And they've been afraid. And I tried to push the city leadership to, stand in support with the Somali community, which they refused to do. And I was the one fighting for the Somali community. I was the one in the gutter. I was the one supporting them, standing for them, speaking. I was the voice for them. So if they would not support me, that would be surprising. But if they say their people are being pushed out, I don't know what they mean by that. That their people are being pushed out. I wouldn't understand what that means. I need more clarity on that. But we will still keep reaching out. The Somali people understand who's fighting for them. They know who's on their side. And if they think the best thing to do will not be to support us, it's I don't want to believe. I'm not saying that it's not real. It could be real because politics is all about interest, and people got different interests. There are different. There are so many people in the race. I'm not the only person in the race, and so they can support different people. But I would just say this: not only to the Somali community, but the entire immigrant community, especially the African immigrant community. Whatever anybody out there is promising you, you got to think twice. People who never knew you, suddenly they're coming now to give you money. Do you think they really care about you? No, they don't. They don't care about you. They can spend the money, they know that's what you want, and you will take the money and they take your vote, and they will use that vote against you. Do I have a proof? Yes, I have proof of that. Because 2022, when Mayor Mahoney was running again, he came to the African community. Dr. Terry Hoagie, who headed the office at Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, he took him to all those African communities. Mayor Mahoney was in our churches. He made attractive promises here and there. Let me ask you, Somali community. Let me ask you, African community. Let me ask you, what at the end of the day, when he got back in office, what did he do? Did he fulfill those promises? No, he did not. Instead, he went and pushed us down by ending the Department of DEI. He ended that. I was in City Hall when that vote happened, and
Yeah,
I told them it was wrong.
I
He
saw you.
ended, yes, he ended DEI. He did not stop there. They ended the Police Oversight Review Board because the police have killed Shane Netterville, a Native American. I was just new on the Human Rights Commission, and we called for the Human Rights Commission. We called for an independent investigation. We try to bring in a U.S. Uh, defender, to the U.S. attorney to come and launch this investigation. The same people that you voted for 2022, they shut it down. Mahoney and his team, they did not want the police to be questioned. Now, I'm pro-police. And what did they do? They didn't stop there. They ended the Police Oversight Review Board. They ended that. They ended the Department of DEI. They did not stop there. 23 years, this city has celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Every year we celebrate that for 23 years. What happened? Just 2026 is the only year we've not celebrated that in 23 years because they pulled the funding from that. They pulled the funding for Juneteenth. Anything that has to do with the Black community, the African, the immigrant community, they step all over it. After you voted for them in 2022, you want to trust these people? That is your choice. Do not make this election about me. When you make this election about me, then you will be wrong and you will make the wrong decision. Make this election about your future. Make this election about your children's future. Make this election about, yourself, because there's so much going on at City Hall that you don't understand. There are certain people who believe we don't belong here. And we are fighting to have representation, to have a voice. So if you think not voting for me is the answer to anything you trying to protest, is you should remember you did it before, right? National elections. Even I'm fighting for you, but in Minneapolis, there were Somalis that had press conference and they say, oh, they're not voting for Kamala Harris. They're voting for Donald Trump. Somalis for Trump. After Trump won, who put the target on your back? Who sent ICE to Minneapolis? Who is investigating Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison? They were subpoenaed before Congress just this week to still answer that Somalis are committing fraud. Who did that? The very people you voted into office. So you can't keep voting against your own interests. You can't keep doing that because the pattern is there. So if you think that is the way to go, I would plead with you to rethink and come and let us band together. You don't need anybody to do for you what you can do for yourself. So you can create policies that can protect your community, that can benefit your community. You don't have to go back in somebody. When we get there, we can help to, channel some of those policies that will, better our lives here. So think again, Somali community, think again, African community. It's not about ST Sirleaf. It's about our collective future. That's what we are all fighting for.
Thank you very much. We will be right back after this.
Yo, it's your man Fianco from Accra, Ghana, and I'm tuning in to Art Network.
So, to the last questions. What are your top three priorities as a mayoral candidate? And how do you plan to address pressing issues facing Fargo? We have a lot, but how are you prioritizing the three?
Great. That's a great question, Charles. Here's the thing. When it comes to our campaign, our priorities, our vision, we got what we call Fargo Pass. That is Fargo PASS, because the city has been failing, and we want the city to make a pass this time around. And so this is built upon four principal things. You ask for three, I'll give you four.
Okay.
Four principal things. First is public safety.
Mm-hmm.
Every resident deserves to feel safe in their neighborhood. Just like you talk about what the organization is working towards, people their cars should be safe, their homes should be safe, their offices should be safe. So the P in pass is public safety. Let everybody feel safe. We have to have smarter ways fight crime. The second thing, top priority issue we're working on is the A, which is affordable housing. People need uh, a place to stay. People who live and work, people who work in Fargo should be able to afford to live here in Fargo. So we need affordable housing. Affordability, price of groceries, other things are, you know, creeping on us, and they just go into the roof. And so we need to this price gouging. We had to control it. And so young people can't settle down because they can't pay for apartments, they can't pay for homes. Families are struggling, and we it's something that we have to deal with. The third thing is service and community. You know, we want to defend civil and human rights within society, within our society, our community, our city. We want to support veterans and seniors. Okay, these are people that need all the support that they have, whether through healthcare, whatever means. We need to support them. We need to invest in youth programs. All these things are under service and community, investing in youth programs. We want to build trust across neighborhoods, because when people respect each other, Fargo will thrive. Like I said, Fargo is built upon different people groups, different cultures. So people need to understand each other. People need to communicate with each other to build that trust, and then we can all build a thriving city. And of course, the fourth thing, which is the second S, is smart growth and responsible leadership. We need a transparent fiscal responsibility. It's key to growth of any city. That transparent fiscal responsibility. The residents should know what the city leadership is doing. We should provide that education, that awareness, that transparency, and that responsibility. Why are we always in deficit? Why is the city struggling? Every time the city is in deficit, just like last year or this year budget, they start to cut those basic social safety net programs. Programs that ordinary people depend on. Those are the things they cut. They don't cut from programs that benefit them. No, they're not going to do it. How many of the city leadership ever ride a bus? No, they don't ride a bus, but they fly all the time. So they put more money towards the airport, but the bus service that's already not efficient. This year, they cut into that again. So anything that regular, ordinary Fargo resident need, those are the things the city keep cutting into. And we can't have that. So that's why we want to build a Fargo for all. We also need long-term planning. So Fargo continues to grow while remaining affordable. We need to do those. Those priorities will make Fargo stronger, will make Fargo safer, will make Fargo more inclusive for everyone. So those are some of the top priorities that we are working on, Charles.
Thank you very much. I have a message on WhatsApp right now from someone from Ghana. The name is Kofi Entry. He says, you mentioned a lot that these people are not doing for the Black community. Would you tell your people that you will be able to fix those problems? That is the question. He said, what you said they are not doing. Mm-hmm. Would you fix those things when you get to the office?
You see, that's a good question. The thing is, no one person can fix anything. Mm-hmm. So if anybody tells you, hey, I'm going to the office, I will do this, and that's where politicians run into problems.
So I'm coming. So whatever you said, these people are not doing for the Blacks. That means you cannot also fix it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when I said now one person can do it.
Or not one person, okay.
Yes, we have to work as a team. We have to work in partnership. So I don't want to come here and promise you, when you elect me as mayor, I will do this, I will do this. No. When you elect me as mayor, I will create the atmosphere. I will create the opportunity that you have a seat at the table so that we fix them together. because you also have ideas. The reason the city is where it is, they feel they can just make decision. 5 people, city commissioner, 1 mayor, 4 commissioners. They feel they can just sit down and make decision for 140,000 people. No, bring people to the table. Let people tell you what they want and how they want to go about it. So that is how I can fix it. I don't want to use I, it's we. So
Okay.
we want to create more seats at the table. We want to invite you in. Let's assume if we were talking something on landlord tenant issue, we're not going to just sit at City Hall as a mayor and just sit with my 4 commissioners and say, hey, this is what we should do. No. Even at the Human Rights Commission, that's what I've done. I brought in so many people from different housing sectors in Fargo. The only group we could not get at the table was the Landlord Association, because I keep trying to find the Landlord Association. And like I told the Human Rights Commission, it's not fair that we bring in all the other people that talk about the problem within the housing, and then we don't bring the landlords to the table, because they too are sure they also got issues. So you see, I believe in fair play. I believe in inclusivity. I don't believe in anybody being left out. So to that question, when I become mayor, it's not what I would do. It's the forum, the opportunities, the atmosphere that I will create that you can come in. We will bring City Hall to the people, because if everybody doesn't come to City Hall, I go to City Commission meeting all the time. I was in City Commission meeting again this past Monday. The people are not coming. So we got to take City Hall to the people. We want to sit with you and say, hey, what is the problem? How can we together solve these problems? How can we together proffer solutions for these problems? That's what I mean. One person can fix it. I'm not saying I won't do anything about it. I'm saying we can do it together.
We can do it together. Thank you very much. And before I go to my last point, I think someone says shared responsibility to fix issues. Good point, Mr. Sheriff. Now, my last question before now we consider the whole thing like, interaction,
It has been an interesting show.
Okay, so what would you work? I mean, how would you work with city council, community leaders, and residents to implement your vision in Fargo future? In Fargo future, because listen, I don't want to say things about me, but because of what I do, let me see, a lot of people had moved to Fargo because when I started this movie shows, some people asked me, Charles, where is Fargo? You on the radio talking about Fargo and all that. Where is it located? You're located. I said it's here in America. Some people even think it's somewhere, some continent, So because of me, I keep on asking. Oh, we said there's oil and other things here. Work that when it come. There's 1 month that I can tell you that particular month, 40 people move to Fargo here.
Wow.
That I know.
That's
you understand? I came here 2017. I went to Ghana 2000 for visit, and I came back and September, and I moved here October. The rest is history. But I can tell you how growing Fargo is like. Our people and people coming from different places and all that. So some of us, we have made here our home. And we want to see a lot of things that is changing to make sure our kids will become very important citizens. So my question is that how would you work with this council, the city council, community leaders, and the residents to implement your vision for Fargo future?
Great question. This question will help us end on a very high note. Again, like I said, leadership should be participatory. It should be collaborative. And so leadership is more dynamic when it's participatory, when it's collaborative. And so the major cannot succeed alone. And again, that's what I was saying to that person's question. As mayor, you cannot succeed alone. And I know that. So how do I work with other people? I will work closely with commissioners, the other commissioners, because anything that we have to vote upon
Your
has to.
camera. Your camera, please.
I don't know why I keep
Okay,
coming
it's
in
okay
and
now.
out.
Yeah,
It's,
it's
it's,
okay now. Yeah, it's
it's the
okay now.
bad.
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay. Yeah. So I will want to work with. I will want to work with commissioners, city staff, business leaders, community organizations to build consensus around political solutions. My goal is not to divide people, but to bring people together. That is my goal. And so, if as mayor, if anybody think, hey, I can be mayor and I can do it all by myself, then of course you are mistaken. You can't do it by yourself. You need people. You need other people. So my goal is not to divide people, but bring people together around shared priorities. Safety, opportunities, and a thriving city. When we work together, Fargo can become a model for how communities grow responsibly while respecting everybody's rights. So we got to work together. uh and so I want to give everybody opportunity to be involved with the process. I have to connect with my commissioners when I become the mayor. I have to connect with other city leaders. I have to connect with the community leaders, faith-based leaders, business leaders, the schools, and everybody has to be on board. That's why we say Fargo for all. That's the best path forward. That's the best thing we can do. We got to bring people together. We got to bring people to the table. I don't want to pass any policy without the input from the community. We should have town halls on these issues. Most times people will not come to City Hall when they're passing these things, but if we have community town hall, these are the things we're about to work on. This is what City Hall, this is a city ordinance that City Hall is about to enact. What is the community thought on these things? And let the community give their input. That's how we grow a sustainable city. That's how we grow a thriving city. So again, it's one person can do it. We have to do it together. And so I'm inviting everybody to come on board. We want this campaign to be people centered, community centered. We want our leadership to be people centered, community centered, especially real people with real issues, and not just catering to the big power brokers at the top. I'm looking out for the small guy on the street. I'm looking out for that single mother that is struggling. I'm looking out for, that gentleman that has been, struggling between different jobs. I'm looking out for that person who can't even get a car because something is in their record. I'm looking out for, those children that are out there on the street and not having any direction. We can do things differently. And this is the time that we hit that reset button. This is the time that we give Fargo that paradigm shift. I think in 72 years, 72 years, there will
Mm-hmm.
be 72 years now for the first time that Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo all will be electing new leaders this season. There will
Wow.
be 3 new mayors, yes, in the metro area. When we say metro area, we're talking about Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
West Fargo, I think the election will be on the 10th, June 10th. I think Moorhead will be in November, and Fargo is June 9th. So we elected 3 new mayors. Let's go and take over. Let's send our first immigrant. Let's send our first minority mayor to City Hall. Let's come together and let's go create that change that we all need instead of standing in the corner, crying and complaining. You have a golden opportunity to hit that reset button. Do not let this slip. Do not let people buy your vote with little dollars, because when you sell that vote, even if they give you 10,000, 20,000, how long is that going to last with you? Whoever's getting there is going to be there for 4 years.
That's the
The
question.
policies that they enact, oh, you will bear the brunt of that. And if we miss this window of opportunity, given the fact that the power of incumbency is not in this election because Mayor Mahoney cannot run anymore, he's completely turned out. So everybody running is an equal playing level field. So we are pulling our weight. So this is an opportunity that we have to seize. If we miss it, it might not come back anytime soon. The reason I'm saying that is because Mayor Mahoney been there since 2014.
Hmm.
It's 2026. So whoever wins, you don't know how long they will be there. So that means if you are going to cry, you will be crying for a long time.
That's correct.
If you go into complain, you will complain for a long time. So think twice and go out and vote SD Sirleaf for change and Fargo.
Go out and vote for ST's leave. I like that. And I like the fact that you have taken initiative to help them to understand what voting is like. Some people don't care, and they have to care right
They
now
have to care, yes.
because it is very important. Thank you very much for coming. And I want to ask you something. I don't know whether you want me to, or I don't.
Go ahead.
You remember behind the scene, we talk about being in two places. It's all over the place. So
Yeah.
you like to clarify the air.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been hearing that, oh yes, he's doing this in Liberia. No. I think people got confused. What happened was, and I would take a few seconds to do that. There's a friend of mine who was running to be president in Liberia that I was supporting, and I was helping him trying to canvas, trying to get different chapters here in the U.S. because I am a Liberian American. I'm not going to forget my roots. And I want to say that to the people of Fargo because people get so nasty. People say all kinds of things. I am a U.S. citizen, but that doesn't stop me from being a Liberian citizen. I have a Liberian root. I am Liberian American. We are proud of Jewish Americans. We are proud of Italian Americans. We are proud of Australian Americans. I don't know why when it comes to Africa, then certainly the rules is changed. So people can be the European ancestors, they still hold on to that, strongly. But do you think you want Africans to just totally forget their roots? No, I am a Liberian American, so I still got roots there. I still got families there, and we have churches there too. So last year, we decided every year we go to Africa, our church, what is called Mission Africa. And so when I was trying to help this friend, somebody from Fargo here, he introduced me to somebody in Liberia. Hey, what you trying to do for this guy? There are some young people in Liberia that will be good, that will be instrumental in helping your friend to, move things along. And I never met them. I didn't know them. So all the conversation was through the internet. We communicated, and I told those young people, hey, I will be coming to Liberia in November. Our church is coming for the Mission Africa trip. So if you guys are serious, then I will meet you when I come. And my wife did not know. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't even know what I was going to be walking into. And those young people constituted themselves and said, hey, they think God is pushing them that, they should support me to be president in Liberia. So I was like, what? It's not even in my mind. I'm not thinking about that. And they kept pushing and pushing. I said, well, when I come, we will see. And I went there. They set up all their things. I was not part of their planning. They had interviews in different places. They had to welcome me. My wife walked right into it. She was surprised, even right from the airport. And I got there and I told them, hey, right now my focus is Fargo. I'm running for mayor in Fargo. And that's what my focus is. So, yeah, that's what happened. So I don't understand why people are so fixated, and rightfully so. But definitely, it's good that you brought that up. I told them I'm going back, and my focus is I don't live in Liberia. I live in Fargo, and where I am, that's where I want to make the change because this is where everything affects me. That's why I'm still connected. Got family, friends, got churches there. But I'm a Fargo resident. I'm a U.S. citizen, and that's why my focus right now is on Fargo. It's not any other place. So I'm not thinking about any other thing. I'm thinking about Fargo and Fargo alone. So I don't know if that helped to clear the air, but if you still have follow up question on that, I'm glad to take it, and I hope some people can interact too on the chat and let
Yeah.
me know what you need to know. But that's
Okay. Thank you very much. I think you've done your best because it's the first time I heard about that. I asked myself, how can he be in two places,
exactly.
being president and at the same time mayor in Fargo?
It's not even possible. Yeah, practically, it's not possible. So I don't know
So,
why people fixate on.
thank you very much for clarifying. Letting everybody know that it's not true because you live in Fargo and you want to be mayor. So we shouldn't forget about that.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's my
very much for
priority.
coming.
That's my focus.
Yeah. So your last words for the community.
That's a good part. Um, here's the thing. Uh, Fargo is a remarkable city, and I can say that emphatically. Fargo is a remarkable city and full of hardworking people with strong values. My vision is simple: safe neighborhood, safe neighborhoods, affordable homes, and leadership that listens. We got to be able to listen to the people. When we focus on these things, Fargo can become a city for all. We got to focus on those things. So that's what I care about. I want to listen. I want to build safe neighborhoods. I want at least Fargo to be affordable. People have been priced out right now. And so people prefer, okay, I can live in Moorhead and work in Fargo. I can live in Horace and work in Fargo. Some people are even going as far as Harwood and other places to and work in Fargo. You don't have to. You gotta live right. You can live in Fargo. So we need to make Fargo affordable. Um, we got to make Fargo safe. We got to make Fargo work for everybody. I know finally somebody did not ask, but somebody could, okay, why should I vote for you? Yeah, you just for all these things that I just stated. Fargo is a great city, but every great city must keep improving. We got to keep improving. My campaign is about safe streets. My campaign is about affordable homes. My campaign is about leadership that listens. These are the things I want to focus on. These are the priorities that we have to focus on to build a better future for the city of Fargo. That's why you got to vote for me. I'm the only outside candidate, and this is my joke that I, say all the time. I'm the only outside candidate. Every other person running is part of it, and this is how I tease. I said the other people that running for this thing, they already there. It's like the arsonists who helped to burn down the house. Now he's telling you, hey, you want to remodel? Give me the contract. I will remodel. No, you don't need that. These are the same people who ran the city now that we are at poverty of 12.8%. These are the same people who ran the city that Moody credit reporting had downgraded us. These are the same people who ran the city and we see all the violence on our streets everywhere. These are the same people who ran the city and people have been priced out. How can they come to fix what they already broke? So we need that outside approach. We need that outsider that will come in and upset the balance of power and change things. We want to come in with transformative leadership. We want to create that complete paradigm shift. Whatever we've been doing in the past is not working, and that's why the city is where it's at right now. So hey, take a chance with me, and this is how I will close. Take a chance with me. The reason you got to take a chance with me is because every other person in the race, they have nothing to lose. ST Salif has got everything to prove. When you make me mayor, they will hold me to a higher standard than any other person they will hold. As a black man, being the first black mayor, every little thing I do will be under scrutiny. And that's the kind of person you want to trust. Somebody that will be under the microscope that okay, they will be careful how they do things. I want to fight for working families. I want to fight homelessness. I want to fight the struggles. I want to fight for affordable housing. I want to fight for the ordinary person on the street. I want to fight for single mothers. I want to fight for ordinary kids walking along the street. I want to fight for our schools. I want to support our police officers, our law enforcement. I want to fight for veterans, support our seniors. I want to fight for youth opportunities. There's so many things we're trying to fight for. Why wouldn't you jump on board such a team? Come on board, change your mind. Talk to your friends, talk to your families, talk to your colleagues, your workmate, your churchmate, wherever you go. Talk to them. Go to the barber shop. Talk to your friends. Let us get SD Salute to City Hall for a better Fargo that will work for everybody. Thank you for the opportunity, Charles.
Thank you very much. He says his last word, he says, take a chance with him.
Yes.
Take that chance with him. He want to change a lot, which means the whole Fargo is going to be in his hand, on his table. So do your best to make sure you learn how to vote. So people think, let me overlook it. It's not important and all that. But I'm telling you, with this, your gunty, this, your tongue is very important. It can change the atmosphere. Do something about it. Thank you very much for coming. We thank you very much for honoring this invitation. And I know it's not going to be your last on this show. Whenever you want to, you have to always reach to us and we'll put you on air for the community to know exactly what you want to do and what we want from you. Thank you very much for coming and hope to see you again.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay warm. Be aware of your environment and make sure you connect with somebody, challenge somebody about the elections. Elections have consequences, and we have the opportunity to make a lasting impact on our city. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in person.
Thank you. And we shouldn't forget the fact that those who sponsor these programs are Unity in Action and CK Promo and MSA. MSA is an auto mechanic shop. Let me give you the address. It's on 4258 3rd Avenue North. Don't forget, people, when you have any problem with your car, don't forget to go to this address. They are the sponsors of this particular. And CK Promo is also, since you are an African, CK Promo also recruits workers from Africa to all over the world, with the exception of UK and US. You can also reach to them. If you have my number, you can call me. We will help you. We help family members to make sure they also travel. UK is not included. Netherlands, Germany, Australia, Canada, and so forth and so on. You can reach to us, and then Unity in Action, which they are going to work with you, the mayoral candidate. Whenever you succeed your seat, we are going to help with you, work with you to make sure that kids become very important citizen as you're also contemplating. So thank you very much for coming and hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right.